Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
What's going on, freaks? In honor of Lori and Chad Daybell, I've got my 4.3 dark shirt on, you mofos. Alright. 4.3 dark. Do you remember that when the channel member icons were all the different light and dark? Oh, look at Chloe. Oh man, look at that. There's a battle royale going back here. Chloe was trying to get Blue to play, but he wouldn't do it. Look how cute Chloe is right there. Come on. Look at that. Come on. Look at that right there. Look at that. Wow. She's looking for Blue. She's like, can you play with me, Blue, please? Please, Blue. I see you walking over here. Will you just play? Oh, no. Oh, wow. God. What the heck was that? She tried to get him to do something. Alright guys, this show's just like any other night. We got our goal to reach, everything like that. So if you're out there and you want to help support the channel, that'd be great. Yeah, she does have those little micro bursts. We're never really sure what that means exactly, but yeah. Alright, so I talked to Chris Proudfoot for, I don't know, like an hour or so again. And I'm just telling you guys, if he has something to do with this, I'd be shocked out of my mind, okay? He literally spent an hour explaining various elements to me, even when I was like, okay, so, no, it's right there. Different things about, remember the surveillance video with the flashlights and everything? Remember all that crap? He showed me where all that was, what it means. Now, there's another YouTuber out there just tricking people into, oh, look, it's an overhead satellite. And then when they somebody sent them some motion on the video, they didn't know what the hell they were looking at. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to show you exactly where the surveillance images were taken. And maybe I'll make a video on it tomorrow or something like that so people will understand it. Also, I know exactly the route the scent dog took. He explained that too. Oh, and guess what, everybody? He finally went and got his polygraph test with law enforcement, and he passed it. What a shock! Well, he probably, let me say, the only one, you know what? The only person who didn't get the passing grade, guess who it was, everybody? The bio dad. Oh, but he fell asleep during it. That's his excuse. Yeah, I don't think any of them have anything to do with it, but that's what everybody that hates the Proudfoots will say about Seth. They'll come up with an excuse. Now, if somebody passes the lie detector test, oh, then it's some other reason. It's ridiculous. Anyways, hey, thanks Eugenie and hi Gray Mods and Freaks. Wise child. Let's see. So what do you guys think about that? Had you already heard that? I don't know. It was just, he said he only mentioned it in a small group, and maybe it was out there, but had any of you heard that Chris Proudfoot had passed his polygraph test? Thank you, Wendy. Right, so you guys haven't heard that yet. You know what's weird about it? I think even if it was known by the larger media, it wouldn't make it out there. You know why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. You know, they got to keep the boogeyman active. I mean, you watch these, you know, something that rhymes with Day Bore Mustis channel. That's all they do is go after the Proudfoots over and over and over again. They don't even know what they're looking at on every single show, but everybody's like, ooh, this is so great. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hey, thanks Timothy Cecil and Little Puppy Paws. Right. Yeah, and he told me, and he said, yes, go ahead and put it out there. So that means law enforcement did the test, right? It's obvious, because if he said that and they didn't do the test, that he'd get in trouble for that. I mean, he'd be looked at negatively, right? But and then also they said, you mind if we talk to Seth and let him know that you passed so that he'll quit trashing you guys like you're part of the issue. And he goes, I don't know if we want, let me ask. And then the wife said, yeah, go ahead, you can say it. And then they told him. All right, so if you hear less bashing from good old Seth coming up here, it'll be because he now knows that they passed, both of them passed the lie detector test. All right. I know it doesn't fit the stuff that everybody likes, and you know, everybody wants there to be this boogeyman out there. It makes this story so much more entertaining and just fun and neato. Really cool, you know? So by the way, let's start off with the Kohberger shit. Okay. I mean, you gotta see this. I mean, it was almost like a Harlequin romance, almost. Unreal. So here we go. I hate this comes now. You know why I hate when it says comes now, Frank? I hate it the most because Greeno typed it in as if he was somebody worthy of typing that in. Anyways, well, that's just the standard typing, Gray. Bryan Kohberger, by and through his attorney of record, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby files supplement response to the demand for alibi. Hey, and you guys don't forget to join the channel if you're not a channel member out there. And in compliance with Idaho Court Code 19519. I think he's required to have an alibi. Mr. Kohberger moved to Pullman, Washington in June of 2022 as an avid runner and hiker. He explored many areas of the Palouse. Of note, he explored let's see where that is. Hold on a second. Let's see. I'd love to see how many times he'd been to that park. A park. Let's see. All right, guys. No lulls, everybody. Let's move. Yeah, so this is way over here. That's interesting because that makes it seem like that's where, you know, a lot of people were wondering if he threw the knife in the water over here in this river, and now he's claiming that he spent time at this park. me do that again. I think that's pretty interesting. That's maybe where they probably have pings of him sometime in the morning after he left again. And remember when he went down? That's interesting. Okay, let's put that right there. Response to the demand for alibi and compliance. Mr. Kohberger moved to Pullman, Washington in June of 2022. As an avid runner and hiker, he explored many areas of the Palouse of note. He explored this means that there's a ping that shows him there, and he's making an excuse for it. Waiwawa Park in July of 2022. This became a favorite location. After the school year began, Mr. Kohberger was busy with classes and work at Washington State University, and his running and hiking decreased, but did not stop. Instead, his nighttime drives increase. This is supported by Kohberger's phone showing him in the countryside late at night and or in the early morning on several occasions. This phone data includes numerous photographs taken on several different late evenings and early morning, including in November, depicting the night sky. I almost feel like I should read this with some really soft mood music, you know? God, do I have anything like that? Let's see. Mr. Kohberger was out driving in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, as he often did to hike and run, or see the moon and stars. He drove throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow. Oh, that beautiful Bryan Kohberger. He had so much joy in his heart and love for everybody out there, including the birds that he'd like to visualize when he would go to these parks. All right, including Waiwawa Park. Absolutely amazing. Mr. Kohberger intends to offer testimony of Cy-Ray, CSLI expert, self-tower, cell phone, and other radio frequencies. Curricula vitae is attached. All right. To show that Bryan Kohberger's mobile device was south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow, Idaho, on November 13th, 2022. That Bryan Kohberger's mobile device did not... Anyway, hey, thanks Carol and Cameron. The weather forecast for the night and during that time of the murders was complete overcast with icy fog, which means BK is full of shit. Stargazing was a joke. Yeah, didn't it snow or something like that? Yeah, anyways. Maybe this one's better. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Bryan Kohberger. Yeah.
Chewbacca?
I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
So let's see what it's really saying here.
At night and during the time of the murders was complete overcast with icy fog, which means BK is full of tea.
Yeah.
Stargazing, what a joke.
Yeah. Mr. Kohberger was out driving in the early morning. The whole thing is a joke. You don't even need to sleuth it out or anything like that. As he often did to hike and run or see the moon and stars. Jeez. He drove throughout the area south of... I mean, isn't that just ridiculous to put that in there? To see the moon and stars. Jesus. Reminds me of that Steve Miller song. He drove throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow, Idaho, including Wawaway Park. Mr. Kohberger intends to offer testimony of Psi-Ray CSLI expert cell tower, cell phone, and other radio frequency curricula vitae is attached to show that Bryan Kohberger's mobile device was south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow. Okay, that's not where that park is, though. And on November 13, 2022, that Bryan Kohberger's mobile device did not travel east of Moscow Pullman Highway in the early morning hours of November 13th. Right. It wouldn't do that. Yeah. And thus could not be the vehicle captured. No, that doesn't even make any sense. What are you talking about? Let's see what it's saying. So they're saying, Washington, west of Moscow, Idaho, that Bryan Kohberger's mobile device did not travel east of the Moscow-Pullman Highway. What's the Moscow-Pullman Highway? Isn't that just that? Yeah, that's just this one right here. That's what I thought. It just goes in between them. So east would be over here. And what the hell are you talking about? It's a east-west road. Oh man, this is just garbage. It doesn't even make sense to say that because it's an east-west road. In the early morning hours of November 13th, and thus could not be the vehicle captured on video along the Moscow-Pullman Highway near Floyd Cannabis Shop. Huh? Is there where's Floyd's Cannabis Shop? He gave us a little new information. Floyd's. And by the way, you guys, we gotta get to the goal tonight. So if you could help support the channel, that'd be great. You can just tell we're on one of those slow starts. Even with that amazing music I played and all that, just boom. Hey, all right. So that must mean it was seen on camera right here. Right there. Look at that. Floyd's. And there's a cell tower right here. Floyd's Cannabis. Yeah, I don't even know if he drove that way. That early morning hours. He wasn't in this area right here. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I think maybe he got there later, like at 8 something in the morning. He might have turned his phone off at that point. You know, maybe he turned his phone off right here, goes in there, and then when he's leaving, turns it back on again so it pings while he's in this direction. Because remember in the morning he left at like 9, and then his phone pinged off of like a tower over in this area, like he's heading there, but he might have turned his phone off right here, and then it never went east of it because he turned it off, and then he turns it back on when he's right here again. Thanks, Alley Cake. Don't forget to join Alley Cake's wave. Don't let her be by herself. Have BK come. Why would I don't think he's innocent, Tanya. What are you talking about? Hey, thank you, Kit. In the early morning hours of November 13th and thus could not be the vehicle captured on video along the Moscow-Pullman Highway near Floyd's Cannabis Shop. Additional information as to Mr. Kohberger's whereabouts as the early morning hours progressed, including additional analysis of Mr. Ray by Mr. Ray, will be provided once the state provides discovery requested and now subject to an upcoming motion to compel. If not disclosed, Mr. Ray's testimony will also reveal that critical exculpatory evidence further corroborating Mr. Kohberger's alibi was either not preserved or has been withheld. Bullshit. Okay. Just classic defense maneuvering bullcrap, right? So I don't really have any other, much more to offer. It's interesting that they have this. Was this at the 8:30 time frame and he just turns it off and it pings off this tower But then it drove by Floyd's, but it couldn't be his because his phone was off and it didn't ping east. So it would have pinged east of this tower, but there was a car that looked just like his driving by. Well, yeah, if you turned your phone off right here, then drove by, it would still ping off this tower, but not east of the tower. Do you get it? Right, that's what I always say, yeah. By the way, put a 1 in here if you think it'd be great if Kohberger spent the night at your house. Because he didn't do anything. I would, Gray. I'd give him all the love he never got from all the other girls out there. Well, you go ahead, okay? You go right ahead. Wow. Look at that. Look at my Kohberger case stuff. Man, this is crazy. I think we need to get back into this and do like a reset. Man, by the way, today I sent off the... Here, check it out. Check it out. I sent off all the notebooks. There they are. Look at the Chloe notebook. She even stamps her feet on it and everything. Look at this crap. It's wild. But anyways, you get the notebook, the pen, and a stress ball. And the pen, this is the pen right here. And the stress ball looks like a, look at freak. And the stress ball looks like a little heart that you squish. So if you send 30 into PayPal, I ship it off to you. I even write a note with really bad handwriting, according to Eugenie. Hey, thanks Laura, Stone, and Ivan Victor. So anyways, I sent off 12 of those today. I've been storing them up, so I sent one, so everybody who's ordered one in the past, I'm sending. Yeah, thanks, Kami. All right. All right, so now let's get to the Sebastian Rogers case. But one of these days, I think we should just go back over again the probable cause, go through all. I have so many videos and everything on this case.
Makes me manually renew with my payment source.
It's crazy. If you don't know the Bryan Kohberger case, just go back and watch all my videos on it. I think my videos are the best ones out there. And I'm not being biased, they just are, If you believe in conspiracy nutjob stuff, then they'll suck. If you want to see the factual information put out right in front of your face, then yeah, you'll probably like it. Thank you, Kami, and Cat keeps on. All right, so you guys want to, who's here to learn about the Sebastian Rogers case and information in this? Because this is where you're actually going to get to see some real info, okay? Not garbage, not, just total, this is factual information, and it absolutely makes sense. And I was talking to Chris Proudfoot, and maybe one of these days, if I get lucky, he'll come on the show and we'll just have the same type of conversation. And I think when you hear him in that environment, he doesn't sound like, the things that people have put out there on him, it's not his fault, okay? It isn't. Like, people want to go, oh, it's his fault. No, you guys just twist shit around. I've watched it all. And the same suspects of the people on YouTube that do this stuff are the same ones that you're watching now. And that's the part that sucks. Like, there's a girl out there that'll go name us it. Somehow was sent the surveillance footage, the wider shot where you see cars in the driveway of the flashlights, okay? She is an abomination, okay? Yesterday she put out a video pretending that a satellite image was where that came from. Because if you darken it, lighten it up here, you can see the houses. And then today, somebody sent her the image, and obviously that debunks her own video from the day before. And so you get the wider shot, and she didn't know what to do with it, so just kind of moved on to something else. And so what we're going to be looking at is where the house is that took the surveillance shot, and he explained exactly what's on the video. Okay? I mean, don't you find that interesting? And I know I spent like 20 minutes going over the surveillance shot with him, so I know exactly where it was now. All right? And by the way, I deleted my Riley Strain video because nobody was watching it. I mean, it was ridiculous. I put out a video and it was even getting less and less views. And I'm not going to keep those out there. That's a total waste of time. Yeah, you saw it, but it only got like 1,200 views in like 2 hours. That is horrible. And then it was down to like 150 an hour. Usually it's like 1,500 an hour for 5 hours, and then it starts going down. Well, it's great that you watched it, but it didn't get. I just told you about it. It only made it out to a small sphere of people. Okay, so it's not going to stay there. I don't want to watch the clip on News Nation, Carol, because it's not about this case. It's about the Riley Strand case. I've seen all those clips. Yeah, I might upload it again tomorrow morning, and you guys can watch it again, but I'm not going to. It's such a waste of time and energy to have crash and burn like that. So I'm going to rely on you guys tonight to help me meet the goal, because you guys are the only source of income on the channel when I do these live streams. So we've started off pretty slowly. We're already about 27 minutes in and not making really good headway. YouTube isn't doing its job letting me know when you're upload. Well, I don't know. You gotta like unsubscribe and then subscribe again by hitting the notification bell and then select all videos. All right. So anyways, here is one of the shots here. So this is the actual shot. See how there's a car there, and it's at the date here is 3 days off, but the time's pretty accurate. So like 3:11, but it's not it's not 2:23, it's 2:26, right? So, but look right up here. See that? That's where the two lights are. See that right there? And then that light right there is a light. And then this right here is a fixed light. This light's moving. Right? That's a fixed light right there. So here's a little easier shot to kind of see some of it. But anyways, that's the fixed light there. And then that's the two lights. Those are the ones that you were watching when you would watch the... right, like I'll show you, watch.
With a surprising development in the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, who's been missing for 18 days.
See, like, look at, he's showing you this. See this?
Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, he was using a handheld shot. Somebody was filming the screen, and it was moving around. Okay, so it's totally bogus. But look, you can see, I mean, just go back to here. See how that's the same as this up here? It's the exact same shot. So that's the full shot. So I called, well, we talked on Facebook Messenger. I talked with Chris Proudfoot, and I would keep sending him various images, and we went through it, and he explained exactly where it is, and it makes absolute sense. Watch this. All right, so this is going to be the actual answer for what is in the famous flashlight video. And here it is. This is where the house that had the flashlight, or the the surveillance camera, and those cars. As a matter of fact, I think you can even, this car right here is literally, I think, this same car. See how it's facing? That's the front of the car, and then there's other cars that are perpendicular to it out there. There's a pickup truck, a white one over there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There might be another car over there. But there you go. So that car is facing there, and that's the camera right here. Look at that. See that camera? Hey, look at that. The Broken Scout gifted 10 memberships. We got Outside with Kim. We got, hold on. We got Outside with Kim. We got Your Blue. We got Little Irish Girl. We got Tracy Lambert. We got Unravel. We got Little Irish. No, that's the one. We got Mizzou. We got Red Panda. We got Teresa. We got Angela Wilson. We got Half Pint. All right. You guys following along here? So that's the camera. Absolutely, 100%. And then it's filming this direction. This light right here is the light you see on the edge. There's no street lights out here. This light right here apparently is the fixed light on the far right. So right here, that one light that you see right on the edge there, that's what that is. Then if you go up the street here, and that time in February, there's no leaves on the tree, just like Delphi. There's a house right over that that had the 2 lights on it. So it was right up here. That 2 lights on this house were those lights in the background. They were fixed also. And then there was a light that was moving. You guys want to know where that was? The light that was moving was up here on this, back on the street. It was a tow truck driver, a tow truck was driving, and it went this way, and then it turned around and went this way. That's why it looked like it went back. You know, that one that looked back? It was a tow truck driver on the top of the hill up there. So look at this. I mean, if you're filming about like this, you can see it. Like it goes off screen over here, like way up there. It goes off and then back this direction. So it has nothing to do with somebody in yards with a flashlight, you guys. That's why law enforcement said it has no evidentiary value. And yet they're not going to say what it was. I mean, they're just going to keep it, you know, it's just part of their information they've looked at. Well, thanks, Little Irish
Keeping that
Girl.
same energy.
Thank you. Bet it was a dump truck? Well, I mean, a dump truck, garbage truck, I mean, what's the difference, you know? I mean, what's the difference? Dump truck, you know, I mean, come on. Yeah. This wasn't a tow, okay, so he thought it was a tow truck? Okay, I don't know, but anyways, this was I don't know if I meant to say tow truck, shit. Now I gotta think, because in my mind I thought he was saying garbage truck. I'm not sure why. Let me double check on that. Hold on a second. My brain is now I need to go verify that, because my mind was thinking it was something else, but I typed it, so it must have been. Hold on. Hey, thank you, Brooklyn. Okay, so it's either a tow truck or a garbage truck. But anyway, see how at the end here, there's nowhere to go, so the vehicle would have to turn around and go back. There's no out there, so it came by. I think it was a garbage truck. Yeah, so if I have tow, I'm going to change that. I'm not sure why my brain typed that in there. I asked him to clarify it, though. But it drove by up there, turned around and went back. So as you can see, it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. See, you can't even see the Rogers house through these trees. So it's like the camera's right here. It's a wide angle lens, so you get this light here and this light, and then the tow truck is moving, you know, so it's low like this, right? So look at it like that. You're down low. So you look at it about like this. I mean, it's a wide angle lens, so I can't really mimic it perfectly, but look right up here. There's that road, that light, and there's nobody running around with a flashlight, and there's trees up here. So as the tow truck was moving, it would go in and out behind trees like it was blinking. All right? That makes sense, everybody? It's absolutely been explained. And it absolutely makes sense because now we see the wider shot. This one right here, those two lights, there it is. These vehicles, we know where that was now. It's right here. He absolutely told me where that was. He goes, yeah, it was right there. And it is. That's exactly the spot. There's a boat in there and everything. So it's facing that direction. This is where the two lights are up here. The single light is right there. And then they're up here. The moving light was a garbage truck up here. All right? I mean, it's like, isn't that amazing, you guys? How there's actually answers for things out there instead of pretending it was some other thing and everybody gets really excited about it. You know? Law enforcement, and as soon as law enforcement said there's no evidentiary value, it's true, right? I mean, unless you think that the pickup truck, the garbage truck up there had something to do with it. And they don't. So, there you go. So, boom, everybody. You can tell everybody to quit looking at the surveillance footage because it's useless. Gray, they can do whatever they want. How dare you tell them what they can cover or not? I'm just telling you, at this point, that flashlight video, just like law enforcement said, is absolutely garbage. Means nothing. But what I'll do is I'll put out a video tomorrow and I'll explain the whole thing again. But Jesus, some of the crap that some of these YouTubers. Here, let me show you one of these things. Watch this. It's unbelievable. Yeah, this is what one of the channels put out there. Watch. Look at this one. Right there. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. The same shape there and the same shape. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, wait a minute. It's the exact same picture, just changed down here. Because look at the little light spot. See that little light spot right there? It's the same as the light spot on the car right there. Oh, wow. And look at these two lights are right there. Ooh, 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 ooh. And they put this out there, and it was absolute nonsense. I knew it was from the beginning. What? The surveillance shot was from a helicopter? A blimp? Surveillance from a satellite that somehow a news guy got? Yeah, she told everybody that's what this was, okay? It's just hideous. And then today, somebody had sent her the shot that had this in it. She didn't even know what she was looking at. She didn't take the time to say, hey, everybody, I was wrong the other day when I told you that it was from a satellite image. She didn't tell anybody that. But everybody's going, great stuff, yay! Oh, my God, you guys. Have a little bit, discern a little bit. Whew, wow. All right. So anyways, then I also talked to him about the dog, where the dog tracked. And I thought it was really interesting. You guys want to see this thing? So right from the front of the house, the dog tracked Sebastian walking like this, then behind, and then right through here like this, and then past the house that had the fixed light on it, like that. He walks this direction, but whatever time he left, who knows? But man, maybe they could. I guess it's so dark out there that camera wouldn't pick up anything anyways, even if he'd walked. And he went this direction, and then he turned, and he went up this way, like this, all the way up to the top. The dog kept tracking, and then into the sort of the northwest or east portion of the construction area, and walked right to about here. And then there's a retention pond right here now, apparently. And they checked that pond, but it wasn't very deep, and he wasn't there. And from that point on, they don't have any idea where he is. And what he did say to me is they've been talking about that if he had backtracked and got lost, he could have walked all the way up into here somewhere and got stuck. You know, something happened to him. Maybe up in here. I mean, look at, if you just go the wrong way in some of these places, you're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, there's people around, but it's not a lot. Okay? So there you go, everybody. You got some extra information. Yeah, it's well, if you get lost, Daphne, that's what happens. You know, you don't get to choose to then go get shoes. Yeah, it's pretty dense. All right, if you guys want to see the where we're at now, we are at way down here still. What am I holding there? Oh, that's the live chat overlay. We have used Vivid as a security system since 2017. Every house we have had one. Yeah, I don't use ADT, but used to. They suck. Terrible service. I mean, just. They don't turn. What does that mean? They don't turn, Tanya. Jesus. Anyways, I would love to know, or whatever it was. Maybe it was some other type of truck. I wrote tow truck, so he may have said tow truck. I don't know. The ADT is a joke. I mean, man, your alarm could go off and they never show up. No, this is the way he went, though, Zozo. It doesn't matter if there's a shortcut or anything like that. That's the way he went. That's where the dog tracked him. But you'd think there'd be somebody on here with a camera, but apparently there's just isn't any. All right, Annabella Roma. Let's see. Tashi was gifted a membership. Cheryl Reed, Bullseye, Shelly Pink, Brenda Starr. So was that all? That was new information, right? For everybody. We know exactly where the surveillance, there is no doubt where the surveillance was and what the lights were. What vehicle, let me see if he responded. Okay, hold on. Okay. Yeah, so it was a garbage truck. And it went, that's what this was up here. And it had to turn around right there and go back this way. So there you go. That's the answer. No, they didn't have any cameras in their house. This case is it's one of the, it's a weird one. Like everybody is stumped. Even law enforcement thinks that he just exited the house and walked out and got lost and somehow got stuck somewhere. So they might have to wait till the fall, apparently, to do another search because now the trees, it's just like Summerwell's same situation where the trees were too thick and the brush was too thick, etc. So, yeah, it's not really, I mean, you know, I don't know. Everybody always wants to find something weird with no shoes. I just said a minute ago, yeah, he went walking away and then he got lost, so then it's weird with no shoes. But he didn't probably mean to be like going a long distance. He was walking in grass and then along a street there and just kind of, you know. All I can tell you is after having multiple conversations with Chris Proudfoot, if he has something to do with it, I'd be shocked out of my mind. Okay, I'm not like the rest of the people out there who on every show they do, they want to bring his name up and pretend that he has something to do with it. If I was to come into this case cold and look at the behaviors of the people, Seth would be the one that would be the most suspicious to me, and yet I don't think he has anything to do with it either. Okay? He could. Just like anyone else could, because they haven't found him yet. But if I was to just come in cold and look at the behavior of people, a guy falling asleep in the middle of his lie detector test, a guy that said that he didn't think it was his right to take a son from a mother who just allowed his son to be abused by somebody. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, everybody. Thanks, Allie Cake. Right, but See, that's what you're saying, JJ, but you're probably one of the ones that think the Proudfoots have something to do with it, right? Yeah. Anything is possible, that's the point, really. Right. Could I email you a few other spots on the map that you might be for what reason, Revengeance? Spots on the map for what? What do you mean? Spots on the map that you might be interested in for what reason? Right, okay, yeah. So I was just saying, out of all the three of them, the one that bothers me the most is Seth. And yet he became this beloved hero by the whack job YouTubers out there. And the reality is all the parents should have been treated with respect because they don't have a clue what happened. Right? You're not super sleuthy. You didn't figure something out. Yeah. Yeah, apparently he took a lie detector test from Nancy Grace, and it was inconclusive, and he fell asleep apparently because he had to take some medication. I mean, but come on. I mean, first of all, you're taking medication. Why is the lie detector test guy giving you the test? Secondly, on something that big of a deal, you're really just going to fall asleep in the middle of something that doesn't really take that long to do? Right. So, like I said, I don't think anybody has anything to do with anything. I just don't think that... I hate what sucks the most is the two parents that needed the most support didn't get any from the public. And I say that because they're the ones that were taking care of him. They're the ones that he went missing from. And they're the ones that everybody should have been behind and supporting. And instead, they got trashed from the get-go because they were naive enough to go on to specific YouTube channels. Ones that's all they do is peddle in nonsensical, like, look at they bring somebody on there and they, as soon as they're off the show, they attack everything that they said because you can come up with any other meaning for anything that anybody says. And I don't know, I think when the truth comes out here, you guys should hold those people accountable and never forgive them for how they treated those family members. It's disgusting, all right? So, anyways. Gray, that isn't nice. I did mine based on facts. Didn't you see the one time when her eyebrows went up? Right. Okay, so if you're coming here late, I'll show you this again, everybody. So there's people that have just shown up. The surveillance footage, despite what a wacko YouTuber tries to explain that it came from a satellite image, the surveillance shot is from right here, okay? Here is the image. Those are those two little dots way up here, and here's the fixed dot here. And here is exactly where the surveillance shot is taken from, is in this, the front of the house right here by the garage, I guess, or the side of the house. And here is the camera right there that filmed it all, and it's pointing in that direction. So if you back out, and probably if you go over about right here, and you look back, there's the camera. So that's kind of the angle it's shooting up. Now through those trees, when the trees had no leaves on them, that's where those two lights came from. The other light on the right literally came from this light right here on the side of this house. So what you're seeing that's moving in the background, so this is what it looks like, just like that. There's the two lights up here. That's a wide angle lens, so it was able to pick up this light fixed on this house. And then, so it's even lower though, so you got a picture like you're down here and it's up on a hill. And then up here, there's a light way up on the background, but that's a garbage truck that drove over here and then turned around and came back this direction, and it was going in and out behind trees. Has nothing to do with people with flashlights, nothing. All right. Excellent. Yeah, he did, Terry. And the way he did it was, he should be ashamed of himself, too. He created a lot of just absolute garbage. Although, in some ways it created a lot of interest. As soon as you put out a video like that, everybody's like, ooh, 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 ooh. All right. All right, so I'm gonna do my my normal public service announcement, though. Okay, this is what I do. All right, so on every show that I do, the freaks help support the channel, and then I, at the end of the month, give away, and during the month, I give away a large portion of the income. I make an income too, but I give away a large portion of it. And the channel has given away $195,600 since January of 2020, $16,000 this year so far, but it only happens when you guys are supporting the channel on a nightly basis. I know some people don't like that element, like, oh my God, I don't go other channels, I just show up and just, right, but we actually try to make a difference here, okay? So if you're able to and you're out there and you can help support the channel, that would be great. You know, it makes the wheels go round, as it were, you know. So anyways, thank you very much, and back to the regularly scheduled program. So does anybody have any questions about this? The camera's right, actually, let me move this, because that might help a little bit. It's right over here. So that kind of helps that angle out a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That makes a little bit more sense. So now look at it like this. So if you're just down like this, and it's wide angle lens, so it picks up like that light, the two lights up here, and then from lower angle, there's this light that's moving, and it's a garbage truck on a street that has a dead end on it. See that? You got one what, Andrea? So it did. Hopefully people actually heard what I just said. All right. And we did the whole Bryan Kohberger alibi thing. It's ludicrous, embarrassing, actually. Yeah, they've searched all over the place. Dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant. That's what he said at 8675309. Yeah. I've heard that joke. Yeah, I think they're still searching, but not really certain exactly what they're doing. I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. They're gonna have to wait till the fall to look around again. I know, I said that. Right. Man, what a catastrophe to give out my public service announcement and have it affect 0 people. Wow, maybe their Gene Salzman's jump in there. Wow. Yeah, thank you very much. And little puppy paws. Praying for Sebastian to come home safe. I mean, I'd love to be able to interview both parents the way you're supposed to do it. Okay? Like literally trying to figure things out, where really just having Chris Proudfoot on, I think would be good. You know, where he's just, I mean, he sounds like man, he's like deep in the investigation with them, trying to figure shit out. I mean, he knows where everything in here is. And I would make it so if when the mods are in here, if one person showed up and said anything, like, oh my God, how sus, you're out of here. Forever, permanently gone, okay? So. Yeah, I've talked to him multiple times. Yeah, I mean, he said he's going to check into maybe being able to come on, but it's not bad. It's great. I mean, I talked to him for an hour tonight. Just on the side, didn't even record it. You know, I just was talking to him and just, I think if everybody, I actually told him, I go, you know what, if anybody ever heard this conversation, they wouldn't think you had anything to do with anything. Okay? All right? And that's just a private conversation that he could be like, ooh, you know.
Come on, freaks. Anybody up to match me?
Yeah, I guess not there,
Waiting for Sebastian
Gene.
to
I
come
guess
home
not.
safe.
It's going to be one of those nights. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Yeah. Well, I think he's been working. Thank you, Even Steven. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There might be cameras on here. It's hard to see every camera. I've walked down here, and it doesn't even. There's no lights on the streets. So, you know, most cameras aren't filming the street. They're filming an important element of their yard. You know, like if there was one on this house, it'd probably be filming the, like, right at the front door here, and a little kid walking with no street lights at all wouldn't pick up anything. So I don't know. There might be cameras here. They just didn't pick up anything. You know, it doesn't mean he wasn't there, Cindy, like you want to believe. Thank you so much, Ozzy Trisha. All right. Well, that's the route the dog sent it on. I went through that earlier. So apparently, this is. I had him explain it to me while he was talking to me. And I go, I'm drawing it right now as you speak. And he goes, he came out the front door, he turned left and went behind the house, but then there's a little creek right over here, a little sort of thing that he would have to go around, and then the dog sent it and it went up to here, and then apparently he went here, and now there's like a continuation there, I guess. So like this is a neighborhood that connects. So then he went up here and then down in this direction, and then there's a retention pond here where he disappeared from. So after that, they don't have any more scent. I don't know why or anything like that, but that's where he ended up scenting to. Thank you, Revengeance, and Mad as a Cut Snake. A while ago, you said you look over the area around the house. That might be a good place to search. Didn't know if you were interested. Yeah, okay. I mean, I'll check that out later. I just didn't know what you were talking about. What is the distance from the cameras to where it picked up the lights of a tow truck? Why would that matter to you? I'd say a quarter of a mile. Not far at all.
A while ago you said to look over the area around the HUs that might be good places to search. Didn't know if you were interested.
OJ did it.
What is the distance from the cameras to where it picked up the lights of tow truck?
Lil Pup Paw said, praying for Sebastian to come home safe. Gene Salzman said, come on, freaks, anybody to match me. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. Seth is, you know, there's probably a reason he didn't have custody, okay? He's just not really, he's not with it, you know. But I think that he got the benefit of the doubt from the public and was turned into Mother Mary. I mean, just the greatest human being on the planet. I mean, didn't it, I mean, I'm just telling you, I mean, here's the thing is, I don't know anything about any of them, really. Like, I don't know them. I don't think any of them has anything to do with anything. But if you were going to be suspicious of one of them, wouldn't he be the one? The guy that said, after his own kid was abused, said, I didn't think it was my right to take my son away from the mother who just allowed him to be abused. So that's the part that just makes me, it's just absolutely crazy. And obviously he was somewhere else, so, you know, I mean, the argument you could make is just that, you know, he allowed Sebastian to use his internet and communicate with people out there. It wasn't locked down like the Proudfoots had it. So when he would hang out with his dad, maybe he communicated with somebody on the outside, and maybe they met him somewhere, right? I mean, that's kind of the angle I would go at. You know, that doesn't make it his fault. It just means that, you know, he was like able to be sort of like a regular kid with no like strong parental guidance in terms of you can't use your phone to communicate online with people. Thanks, even Steven. Yeah, I agree with
Seth
that.
is a weird dude.
Yep. He is. He's, allegedly. Yep, nobody just disappears. But it wasn't the Proudfoots, Andrea, in my opinion. I don't think there's any way back for the Proudfoots in terms of public opinion. And that's why it's so shitty, all the stuff that Seth was putting out there. Because even after, let's say they find Sebastian stuck in somewhere and he couldn't get out and he passed away in the woods. Do you think anybody would apologize? No, they go, oh, those parents, they should have never let him out. They should have never let him out of the house. It just never ends. They never admit that they were wrong on something. Yeah. That's right. Thanks, Heather N, for gifting a membership. Look at that. Very cool, very cool. Parents are always the first suspects these days. Yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, it's particularly like Zozo points out on every single show that, Miss Proudfoot was there, and she was at home, and then he disappeared, and she's the last person to see her. Therefore, everybody jumped on that. But then it's, ooh, look how shady Chris is. Ooh, 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 look at that. Ooh, 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 ooh. Over and over and over again. It's ridiculous. Man, I don't know if you guys, but I remember when I'd watch those interviews, I didn't see anything that was, and by the way, even the behavior panel didn't see anything. Gift of time, yeah, gift of time. Always err on the side of innocence. Yeah. Anyways, how about we open up the lines here and talk about any of these different topics. But I hope you guys appreciate the effort that I put in to get these two significant pieces of information. I always think it's funny when somebody has something and they don't realize the significance of it, nor even make an effort to figure out what they're looking at. It's unreal. It's crazy, actually. This was his alibi. Then why has he been so secretive about it? Who are you talking about, Judy? What alibi? I mean, Kohberger? Oh, yeah, you must be on Rewind. Now, what do you mean you'll look me up? I don't know what that means. Oh, look at that. Jerry ordered a notebook. Thank you. Alright, so let me put the number on the screen now. There it is! Call in, everybody, with your wacko conspiracy theories. Oogle, you ain't got no alibi. Yeah, Bryan Kohberger's alibi is a joke, okay? There isn't one. Well, good for him, Truth Sleuth. I'm on the fence with all. I'm not at all. I've talked on the phone with Chris Proudfoot twice and communicated with him on Facebook. He answers every question, and when you talk to him, if any of you would talk to him too, you'd believe exactly the same thing. But like I'm saying, if somehow by some miracle he had something to do with it, I'd be shocked out of my mind. I don't think so. But Gray, you're not an expert on behavior. You're just... I'm just telling you, man. It's just normal conversation, trying to work through stuff. And, man, I think if somebody was guilty, they wouldn't even be taking the time. First of all, they wouldn't be answering anybody. Secondly, they'd have sort of more, like, trying to push it off on somebody else type of thing. And he's never like that. And as a matter of fact, they were always willing to and said nice things about Seth until, he said something, and you still don't hear them out there trashing Seth, but Seth was, went nuts on both of them. Thanks, Allie Cake. Appreciate all your work you do. Well, thank you. Hoping to reach the goal tonight. I am. I'm pretty good intuition. But like that, in this case, just talking to, I'm just telling you, if he does a show and he sounds exactly the same, we're just having that same kind of conversation, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, he's very polite, nice. It's not. I don't. Le puppy paws. Who are you talking to? So who's calling in? Don't you guys have a lot to say, or? No, you didn't, Brenda. I know you're a psychic, but no, that didn't happen. So was Ted Bundy. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Please do not state opinions or rumors. Yeah. Got a lot of nut jobs in chat tonight. Hopefully none of them got the free memberships. Has been working. What do you mean working, Cindy J? What do you mean by that kind of comment like that? He's just been on shows. He isn't working anybody. Right? What the hell kind of comment is that? Hello, this is Gray.
Hello, this is Ishi Says, former Beth Wheeler.
Okay. I thought you weren't
I was calling...
formerly known as...
yeah,
Jesus.
well, that's my real name, but I did change it to my grandma name not that long ago. But I called in because no one else was calling in, and I would have called in sooner, but I had to finish eating my drumstick ice cream cone first.
Man, I could
priorities.
Yeah, that sounds good.
As far as Sebastian is concerned, he's actually not that far from me. I live in southern Kentucky, so I'm about 45 minutes or so to an hour from that, from where they are. But I've seen a lot of people saying, didn't any cameras pick him up or whatever? And I don't know. I mean, I've had 15-year-old boys. Granted, they do not have autism, but I'm sure they had a back door.
No, we already went. I mean, apparently he went out the front door, and he walked back behind the house, and then kind of up near Stafford Street, and then up north on Kelly Lane, and then walked around. I mean, that's where the dogs sent it. Dogs aren't 100% accurate either, so I don't know what.
Correct. Well, and I mean, it's not like that's the first time he went out of the front door. So that's only my thing. Of course, his scent was coming out of the front door at his own house, But I'm just saying, if I was sneaking out, I'm not saying he did sneak out, but most kids would go out.
Yeah, except in his house. Except at his house, his mom lives in the back of the house. So in his situation, the front door is kitty corner of the whole house to his mom. But near his room, so it makes more sense actually to go out the front door.
It does, yeah.
Okay, so what's the next
I just wonder if he had any instances, which I haven't heard anyone say anything, of bullying at school or anything like that, or any issues with any kids at school. There have been, because, I mean, look at the, I can't think of his name now, Tristan. The girl was Tristan, the young 13-year-old cheerleader, and I can picture the kid that killed her. But, if he was being picked on at school and stuff, it's not completely out of line to think some kids had him come out, thinking he was going to be their friend or, that sort of thing, and did something. I mean, it really could be almost anything. I'm with you, though, Gray, on I don't really see anything with the parents or the stepdad. I think I think the dad and the stepdad are kind of both a little bit abrasive in the way they come across, but I get it. They're being accused of things. And,
well, not Seth, though. Seth is Jesus, okay? In this case.
he's I really don't have anything positive to say there. So
no, but nobody's accusing him of anything. They're treating him like he is God's reincarnate.
I almost feel like I get annoyed with him because I almost feel like he's low-key enjoying this. Not his son being missing, of course, but the attention and getting to...
Mm-hmm. Well, he loves the adulation by the public. I mean...
right.
If there was an open spot for running for president, a lot of these people would anoint him the next candidate because he is the greatest person on the planet. He's a brother. He's the guy. There's one guy out there that calls him, "You're our brother, man. We'll do anything we can for you, brother. Hey, brother, you're the greatest." Oh, Jesus, give me a break.
Well, and there's another channel that I follow pretty regularly, and I actually really enjoy the people in that chat and enjoy the person that does the channel and all that. But they've kind of jumped on that bandwagon, too. The stepdad's hokey, and he's not telling it, all this sort of stuff. And I don't know what your position is on Nancy Grace, but they are all about, well, Nancy Grace really grilled him. And
I think Nancy Grace, she asks good questions, but when you look back and you think, man, she acted like that was an interrogation. And you know what's amazing is the Proudfoots did that. They sat there and went through the entire interrogation and took it and answered the questions, every one of them.
Right.
And, nobody gave them credit for that. It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm not a huge. I think Nancy Grace is good at what she does. I'm just not. I wouldn't want to hang out with her at dinner. I'll just put it that way. But that's okay. She didn't ask me to dinner. But I think Phoebe says hello. My Chihuahua, by the way, that was her. But no, I think that the case is very, very sad. I think that my personal opinion is most likely he's in a body of water somewhere nearby there. That's just my opinion. I know that a lot of I've had experiences with a lot of kids with autism, and I've actually worked with some FMD students in the school systems, and they're very drawn to water, typically. I don't know why that is, but water seems to be a big draw. So I don't know. I almost feel like he maybe just got mad about something, or I think he maybe just roamed off. And
well, that's what they think. They think he just kind of wandered away, really.
Yeah, and I just don't really think there's anything. There could be something nefarious, but I really don't almost feel like there is here. So I think it's just going to be one of those really just sad stories and unfortunate things. Yeah. But I think they would have found him. I don't think he would have not come home or tried to make contact or something like that if he were okay.
Right.
But I agree with you. Just the drama side of things really annoys me on a lot of these cases. These are people's lives, and I try to always keep that in mind. It's fun sometimes to think about the what if, but even Bryan Kohberger's parents, they're people, and I always think about the victims, of course, and their families, but also the perpetrators. I had a kid one time who was high that drove up through our yard and totaled both of our vehicles in our driveway. And he lived in our neighborhood. And his parents came up the next day to look at the damage and see, what he'd done. And they just, were very apologetic. And I told him, I said, I'll be honest with you. At this point, I'd much rather be me than you. I can get a different car. I can get my divots in my yard fixed. You've got a kid that's sick, So I think about those people as well. And I just think it's unfair to get on the internet, which is forever, and say things about people when we don't know for sure,
Yeah.
and speculate. It's one thing to have a discussion and what about this, what about that? I totally am all for that, and you always have amazing insights, and I really enjoy hearing those, and sometimes I disagree with you, and sometimes I totally agree with you, but that's part of it. But I think, you don't sensationalize things and blow them out of proportion, and I see that happening, we all do all of the time, and it's really frustrating. As someone who's interested in really knowing about the case and the people and the insights. So thanks for all that you do. Thanks for all your mapping and all that. It's top notch, and it really brings it to life.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd call in and say hey and give you my thoughts since no one else is doing it. So somebody else call in now. I want to hear what you think. So have a great night, Greg.
Oh, thank you.
Good night, freaks.
All right, see you. Yeah, and so the law enforcement did say the dog scented early on, right? They said it scented. They didn't give the track, though. Hello? I saw that you tried calling a few times. But when there's somebody on the phone, when somebody's on the phone, you can't call.
I didn't have it on. I'm at the job, but I didn't have it on at the moment. I apologize.
It's all right. Who's this?
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is Steve, man, down in Alabama. Even Steven on YouTube.
Oh, Even Steven. All right. How's it going?
Yes, sir. All right. You got a lot of people on your butt, man. They're really on you hard about this.
Where? I don't really see them, but in the chat, you mean?
Well, we're hating on the dad. We're hating on Seth. I'm not hating on Seth. I never heard you once accuse Seth of any crime.
Yeah,
I ever heard you say was that if anybody looks guilty, it would be him.
Yeah, and then you could say this is what maybe he's, maybe he set something up where he knows where Seth. I mean, the thing is what difference does it make? I mean, it's the same thing in reverse. I don't think any of them have anything to do with the reason. I mean, not the reason, but the physical reason that Sebastian is missing.
I don't either.
Maybe some of them are the reason that he walked away or something, but they didn't.
I really wish people could understand that. Just when you say, well, out of all of them, if any of them look guilty or appear guilty, it is Seth. That's not the same as you're saying Seth did something.
Well, who's saying
that? Kid walked off.
Yeah. Who's saying that? Who's saying that I'm saying that though? I don't know what you're referring to when you say a lot of people are.
Well, there are a lot of comments in the comments section. A lot of people are saying that Seth's the only one doing anything. He's out looking. First of all, let me say this, okay?
Yeah.
If a stepdad was out there every day, all day looking, you'd have the same people saying, he's just a stepdad. Why is he, he quit his job? He quit his career? You can never please people.
I agree.
I mean, it's, he's barefoot. I've seen a lot of that, autistic kids prefer barefoot.
Oh, yeah?
And that's a fact. We can look into this, but I'm pretty sure that's a fact, that they, as a whole, generally, they prefer barefoot. It's more of a struggle to keep shoes on an autistic kid.
Let's see. I'm just going to see.
And I don't think anybody's involved. They're going to find that kid's body someday. A hunter might find it.
Oh, it says right here on autism and barefooting. I discovered at one point that people who are autistic prefer to be barefoot because it makes them more aware of their surrounding.
Grounding, I believe, is what they call it.
Huh.
They call it grounding.
Well, that's interesting,
barefoot
isn't that
on the
Zozo?
ground.
Isn't that interesting, Zozo?
Yes, sir. And just the fact that he was barefoot might have been enough to comfort him to travel further from home to the point where he got turned around and couldn't make it back.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but these things happen.
Yeah.
And the dad, I don't think Seth's up to anything, man, but I think he's a little off, and he probably doesn't have much of a life going. So this gives him opportunity to devote himself to something and try to make a hero out of himself. And he's taking the opportunity.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, the thing is, I mean, if you were going to be like they are, you could say this. You could go, hey, what if, a theory, you know, what if Seth, because apparently Sebastian wanted to be with Seth, right? So maybe on one of his trips he said, hey, I'll come by, and you walk over here, and I'll pick you up, and I'll take off. And they're going to be looking, you know, obviously then people are going to be looking for him. Then he shows up later, this guy going, hey, where's my kid? Where is he, everybody? And then he starts blaming the parents over and over, the stepdad and the mom over and over again to make them into villains. And then it gets all these other people riled up and all these stories coming out. And so that eventually when he goes, hey, everybody, here's my son. I've had him this whole time. He'll have built up the monster story about the biological mother and the stepdad so much that people would forgive him for him taking
It's very possible.
You know,
I would say
like
that's
that,
probably the only positive outcome that's possible.
Yeah, well, that'd be a great outcome.
You know, every other outcome, he's gone. You know, he'll never be seen alive again. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the way I think most of us view it.
Yeah. So it's funny. Somebody said, sounds good. You said that, and somebody said, that's preposterous. See, now, if you said the same thing for it being like somehow related to the stepdad, people would go, yeah, that's a great idea. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See, these people are so hypocritical, you know?
Well, in this day and age, if a kid comes up missing, you have to seriously, immediately start thinking about doing damage control, even just if you are the stepdad. So, I mean, if my stepson went missing, as the stepdad, I think I would be the first one to think, oh my God, my life's about to be turned upside down. The stepdad always did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's the way people, you know, it's,
I mean, sometimes,
you know,
it does happen.
Did it, right?
Yeah, you know, it's not, you know, there are cases where the stepdad does something because they don't have a, like, biological connection, and there's like a young stepdaughter, you know, his stepdaughter goes missing, and oftentimes it comes out where it's that stepdad, but, you know, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean it's like every single case, just like you weren't saying a minute ago, every autistic kid wants to be barefoot. It's just one of those things.
No, generally, yes.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think, look at it this way, a lot of therapists and a lot of, they'll say, you know, when a stepfather gets involved in a family's life, the chances that a kid will come up missing go up 80%. But the part they're not telling you is the chance was only 1/5% of a chance. So it goes up 80%. Now there's a 1% chance.
Right, like if it
I'm
was
just making numbers up.
Well, yeah, you could do it like,
right.
Yeah, it'd be like 1 in 1,000, and now it's 4 in 1,000. Wow, that went up 80%.
That's 400% increase.
Yeah, that'd be 400. Yeah, that's even
more.
Or
you know, I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but
yeah,
you know, it's I'm trying to make a few points to defend it. It's just.
So I guess it would be like this: 1 in 1,000, and then it went up to 1.8 in 1,000, and you go, see? Yeah, but it's like so. It's not barely.
Well, even
if
they said, you know, maybe a realistic number might be, you know, all the kids that went missing, and it turned out they were dead. Say, 1 in 7 times it was the stepfather. Mm-hmm. The rest of the times it could have been the father, the mother, sister, a friend, a stranger, anything. But now it went up 80%. You know, 80% of the time, but it's, you know, so now 2 out of 7. But either way, worst case scenario, half the time. So, but 100% of the time, when it hits the news, the stepdad did it 100% of the time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. You're wrong at least half the time when you do that.
At least.
So.
At least half the time.
You know, but I just wanted to put my thoughts in, I guess.
Well, what do you think's going on here?
I think he wandered off.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think he wandered off. I think he wandered off. He maybe was after something. Maybe he thought he was gonna. I mean, you never know. Autism, you know, a kid could think they might go to the store. There's a shortcut there, you know. But you get turned around, and you think you're headed back home. You know, if he's headed still the opposite direction, now he's went twice as far away.
Yeah.
And it's very possible, you know. But I think foul play, I don't think really is probably an issue. Except I could see something like what you were talking about, and maybe it got botched. Maybe somebody got paid a little money to do it.
Right, they could pick him up, yeah.
And they botched it and ended up killing him, or, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
something along those lines also.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just about anything, but I mean, wandering off, that sort of seems like what law enforcement thinks. They are actually going to be, apparently in the fall, when the trees, you know, the leaves fall off again so they can see, are going to do another wide-ranging search. That's why they just searched that last time, before the leaves got too thick. Like a few weeks ago, they weren't. Now they're just starting to get thick and bloom and all that. So.
Yeah, I think... I think, you know, somebody will walk up on him, or it might just be bones by that point a lot of times, you know. I think if you look into it, that probably ends up being a pretty consistent result.
Mm-hmm.
Is, you know, a hunter at some point makes it to that spot exactly or something and finds bones. Bones last a long time. And, you know, or somebody finds him coming up, but gone.
Yeah.
And that's what I figure, you know.
Yeah.
But what happened, I don't know.
I don't think anybody actually knows. There's a lot of super sleuths out there that think they got it all figured out, but yeah, we don't.
I don't know, and I haven't heard you say that you know, and I haven't heard you accuse anybody of anything except you've just said this is a possibility. And I believe, if I remember right, you said, now, is that not just as good as a possibility as what others are saying? The stepdad did this.
Yeah, no, that's right. I never accused him of anything. I just said, wow,
You're
what about this
just
scenario?
As likely.
Yeah, or you could go, what about this scenario, like the one I just pointed out to you? Wouldn't that be possible? You know, but
just as likely.
But when you say something, it's when your accuse is like, oh my God, so and so did it. Look at that, the way they're doing this. That's when you're accusing somebody. Speculating and theorizing is different. And I was sort of doing the devil's advocate theorizing, because I just want to show people how hypocritical they are by ignoring all of the things that Seth does that people wouldn't. If Seth did the same thing. Imagine if Chris Proudfoot said this. Man, you know, my daughter, she was being abused by this guy, but I just didn't think it was my spot to take her away from the mother.
Yeah,
I mean, my God, people would jump on that.
There's not a man anywhere in this country that feels like he doesn't have the right to do that.
Yeah, and he said that.
If something was happening.
Right. Yeah, so Seth said that, but nobody challenged him on it. Not one person except me went, hey, you guys, how come he got a pass on that comment? That's ludicrous that you wouldn't take your child away from somebody who you think allowed your child to be abused.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Of course you would. I just think, you know, he was probably just an absentee father. You know, probably spent some time with him when he felt like it, you know, but for the most part, probably maybe not, I wouldn't call him maybe a never-do-gooder, but just a guy that just gets by. And this right here is like, oh, national news cycle. It gives him opportunity to turn himself into a figure.
Yeah, be somebody for a bit. His 12 minutes is what is it, 12 minutes of fame or 5 minutes of fame or whatever the hell it is?
Right, yeah, 15 minutes of
Yeah,
fame or,
right.
you know, and nowadays money, because you got GoFundMe and stuff, and guys like that are not that bright, you know. He thinks, oh, I'll do a GoFundMe, it'll raise $400,000, I'll spend $100,000 on 2 private investigators.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make some money here.
But there was some he did hire some investigators, right? Private.
Right, he did that. I did see that he did that. You know,
Mhm.
but if he's not involved, you know, it's possible he's
Yeah.
not involved.
But I mean,
at
how
all.
did
He
he-
knows
but I wanna know
nothing,
this,
but
like,
he's
did-
just using this as opportunity,
Right.
maybe. You
But
know,
is he really
to-
paying the private investigators, or are they people that said, hell, tell them you're paying us, we'll do it for free because the publicity we'll get will be huge.
Yeah, I think you'll never know, probably. You know,
Mm-hmm.
unless they might show a bill,
Yeah.
but you know, they might show a bill that's double what he's actually giving them,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just pockets the rest of that GoFundMe money or whatever he's planning on doing. I figure that's what he's up to, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what his end game is, but I think he's got plans to be a hero. That's for sure, right? You know, he wants to look like the best adult in the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I'm not sure what he's. I mean, apparently he wants to try to get custody too if he ever comes back. So I guess we'll have to see how
Yes,
how this all plays out. But hey, that was
Yes, sir.
great talking to you. Good stuff.
yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll call in again sometime.
Yes, sir. Will do.
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.
Steven, as in even Steven. Yep, I'm a person that likes common sense. But man, you guys, with 762 people watching, shouldn't it be really simple to get to that goal tonight? You'd think so, wouldn't you? Georgina Stiliker, Plato. We've already given away 1,500 this month so far. Like to keep going by the end of the month. Somebody asked, what's the best way to donate? I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, I've had 2 good callers in a row. Who's coming in? Who's calling in next? Who's next, everybody? Nope, that same area code. Hello? Who's this?
It is a revengeance.
Oh, you had the same. Oh, a different area code. Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, what? It was the same code?
No, it wasn't. It looked like it was, but I don't know. I got confused there.
Oh. Well, I was thinking, well, I mean, you had mentioned the other day about, like,
yeah, looking around.
you know, if you had,
I don't
if you
have
had
a,
time, you know, just look around.
I don't even have
And
a email from you, though, that you said you sent an email. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I also sent you an email about that Kiera Jones. I don't know if you've seen this. There is a video.
Mm-hmm.
She got arrested for like abuse, like major abuse of some like 2 or 3 autistic children on the bus. Like she's a school bus, like a driver's aide,
Mm-hmm.
and like.
Yeah, but send me that one again. I'll take a look at it later. But what do you have to talk about on this one? This
sorry,
case?
I got distracted.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I was looking, and just north of their house,
Mm-hmm.
the Rogers or the Proudfoot's house,
The wooded area.
like within a mile. I mean, easy walking distance. There are 2 like right of ways, and these gas lines, like, and that they're all. They're bush hogged all year round. They're maintained.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It might be a reach or whatever, but you know, if you think if you get out in the middle of the night and you get lost and you start wandering around,
You might find a. You mean like the power line area? I was looking at that. I was actually looking at that earlier today. That's funny. I was just thinking if you went onto that, but you could just keep walking along that, right?
Right, and it would be if you're lost in the middle of the woods and you come upon like this big clearing, and it just goes forever. That's a path of least resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not be walking in the right direction, but it's the easiest way to walk.
But man, you should see how hilly this sucker is, though. Man, look at it. I don't know if you can see on the screen, but look at how it actually. Summer Wells had something similar to that, and look at then it keeps going up that way, but it's just really, really hilly up in there. Wild.
Yeah, I mean, I've turkey hunted that. I mean, within like 20 minutes of that area, and the thing is, it's like there's a lot of urban areas, but the problem is, like, especially if you're searching for somebody, you're having to look for somebody. Like, of course, there's a lot of urban areas, but the rural, I guess you could say, like it's like it's all around. Like you know, some like their house, you could walk out of their backyard, and you know, within a few hundred yards, you're like in the middle of a forest. Like it's so wooded in that area. Like when I turkey hunted down there, we hunted like 100 yards behind a guy's house. It was all legal and everything, but like we hunted like behind a guy's house, you know, within like 150 yards. And it just goes to show, like, when you're having to do a search like that, a land search, and what I understand what their theory is. I mean, you really are probably going to have to wait until the fall. I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, things green up a lot quicker than you think. I mean, when he you know, wandered off, like that wasn't but like 2 or 3 weeks, and everything had started to grow in, and like they didn't have much time at all. I feel awful for them, but
yeah,
you know. But
do you think he went like? Do you think he went west or east when he went up there?
I don't know, because it's like I said. I mean, the main right of way runs from, I believe it's east to west, and like I said, it's you know, it's not a bad walk. I mean, I know he was barefooted, I understand that, but you know, there's plenty of stories of kids that, you know, toddlers that wander off and they're found miles away from where they started.
Yeah, we did one a couple years ago with Texas Echo Search that had something like it was like a 2 or 3 year old, and he walked 5 miles. I mean, I don't know how that. I mean, what a miracle! I mean, coyotes could have been out there, whatever.
Oh yeah.
But they found the kid 5 miles away. Pretty wild.
That sounds similar. Is it similar? It wasn't in eastern Kentucky, was it?
I don't remember exactly where it was. I thought it was Texas though, but I mean, it seemed like it. It was just a little Hispanic kid who just walked away in diapers, and it was cool because we mapped it out, and I had this little circle, and he was found right inside that one again.
Yeah.
Nailed it again, everybody. Nailed it again.
Yeah. It's hey, you can brag when you're right. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. You take those victory laps, man. You take them when you can get them.
Somebody's got to do it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, it's always, when it's this late in the game, it feels like everything is just a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
But you know, if you've exhausted your area and sometimes even your resources, I mean, you kind of got to branch out a little further and entertain some, you know, some ideas that may not have come to mind yet.
I would check more of the water. There's so many little ponds and stuff in the woods. They're all over the place. There's hundreds of them. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, there's a farm pond for every, you know, a couple farm ponds for every square mile, really. But I don't know. It's not much help. I guess we can just sit here and talk about how hard it's going to be to find him. But I mean, if we're all being honest, it's gonna be hard. I mean, that's what sucks. I mean, it's not a big chance that they're, number one, they're going to find him alive. But now it's getting to the point where it's going to be really difficult just to find him. Period. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, because if they haven't found, it wasn't easy to find him yet. And if he did go with somebody else, that's going to be really difficult too.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they are. I looked at it. That house, kind of familiar with the area, but their house is less than 10 minutes from I-65, which is one of the largest interstates on the eastern seaboard. So, I mean, it goes from like all the way up to like Indiana or Illinois, or it goes from Louisville through Ohio all the way down to Panama, or all the way down to Florida. I mean, it's one of the largest, you know, highways, like I said, on the East Coast, and you're less than 10 minutes from there. So I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not the most feasible theory to think that somebody, you know, just randomly came through and you know, just picked him up and whisked him away. But like I said, at this point, it's like, I don't know, halfway out of desperation, you're like, you got to entertain all kinds of different angles about it, you know. But you know, you'd have to think, like, if it is a kidnapping, how would it not be somebody that they knew or he knew, you know? Because, you know, you talk about this internet activity with all the stuff that, you know, because Dad never, you know, had much of a leash on that with his internet access.
Yeah, he didn't have any, like, parental supervision, and like, he wasn't even allowed to do any of that stuff at the Proudfoots, but Seth allowed him to have unfettered access on the internet and just kind of communicate with whoever he wanted. So how do we know that he didn't communicate with somebody?
Right, and it makes it kind of raises possibility even more, because the more you tell your kid you can't do it, there's that temptation to do it. So if you completely lock that down and shut off that avenue, you know, they're going to, like, just human nature is going to be like, well, why don't they want me to do it?
Yeah.
Like, why, what am I missing? You know,
yeah,
they must not want me to do it for some reason. But I don't know. I guess we can sit here and talk about all kinds of stuff, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, you just gotta, I don't know, you just gotta hope they find him. I mean,
yeah, I hope they find him too, but it's not going to be one of the Proudfoots, despite Jose up there, a troll who showed up, who said, I hope Sebastian comes home safe. Gray, I thought you were cool. F, I was wrong. Also, I would never raise a belt to an autistic child or teenager. But over here in the South, we are taught common sense. Yeah, the South, right? Okay. Give me a break. Yeah,
man, I got my ass whooped once with a belt.
Yeah.
And like, you know, my mom, like, she told me later as I got older, she's like, oh, when you went to school after that, I just sat and cried. And, you know, it's like, and I should have got my ass whipped a lot more. If I got my ass whipped a few more times, I may not have gotten so much trouble. But you know, it does. Like, you don't think that it affects a parent or any kind of parental figure when you take that kind of route of discipline? Of course it does. And there wasn't any other.
Yeah.
Wasn't any other.
My mom beat me with wooden spoons, and like, when I say beat me, I don't mean like just all over the place. It was always, yeah, she'd hit our back of our legs or our butt or whatever with a wooden spoon and a belt, and she's the greatest mom on the face of the earth. Okay. Just because people don't do that these days, and that's why our kids are such spoiled pieces of crap these days, is because they are treated and coddled and even told, call CPS if you even get spanked, give them a call. That's disgusting, okay? Spanking works, okay? It worked. That's why they did it for thousands of years, until everybody came forward and said, you can't spank anymore, you bastards. And look what we brought up. A bunch of wacko, spoiled brats, okay? All right, there you go.
Yeah.
That's not cool, Gray. I never spanked my kid, and they're just perfect.
That's right.
Right, okay,
right.
yeah.
your kids are perfect. Yeah, when you were in bed, they were probably sneaking off and getting drunk with their friends.
Hell, you know why? Because they said,
smoking pot.
I don't get spanked. I can do whatever the hell I want. This is
That's
great.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
All right, Gray. Well, it's good to talk to you. And like I
too.
said, I mean, I don't know. I just got to messing around on the mat the other day, and there was a couple things I was like, man, it may not be the most likely, but if I was young and turned around and came up on a big, huge clearing in the middle of the woods that went forever, I mean, that's probably where I would go, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in.
I'll let you go.
All right, man. Send me that.
Alrighty.
Yeah, send me that other email again. Send me that other email again about that other
will.
case. So I did read it, but now it's buried. So send me it again.
Okay.
About
All
that
right.
case on the bus or whatever. All right. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Revengeance. All right. Yes, everybody. We did do an update. Oh crap. Oops. I was just shutting down. I'll be back on in a second. I want to do the updates because there's people just showing up again. I'll turn the phones back on in just a second. All right? But I'm going to need you guys' support tonight. We're really struggling. It shouldn't be this hard with this many people in here. All right? So if you're able to support the channel, that'd be great. We have goals to meet here to keep doing what we're doing. Help support the channel and all the various... well, I mean, I've gone over it 1,000 times. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, it's frustrating. All right. So when you look at this right here, this is the update. All right. So this is an actual. I sent this. That was on another channel that won't go mentioned because of their irresponsibility of everything that they cover. But apparently these two lights right here, and then there's a bright light right there. So this image right here, I sent it to him. And he goes, hey, I can explain to you exactly where that is. I'll call you later. So then I was in the house eating something, and he called me back. All right? He didn't call me back. He called me for the first time on using Facebook Messenger, right? So then I called him back because I missed it. And he explained to me where this is. And it absolutely makes complete sense. So it's right here. This is the house with the surveillance on it. So I'll go back down the street view here. And just try to pay attention. I know it's difficult sometimes. It's right here. There's the camera on the house that was filming. And based on that angle, it's filming up in like that direction. The Proudfoot's home is right there. Okay. The bright light on the right-hand side, this one right here, is that light right here on this house. It's a fixed light. The two lights are up through the woods over there because when it was filmed, there was no leaves on these trees. So that house was right here, these two lights. So this is where the camera was, and this is where the two lights were. Man, it's just an absolute... Hey, thanks again, Lanky Tor. She's a membership giving freak. So those two lights, those little ones that are close together, are right up here, right? And then the fixed light's right there. So when the camera was filming like this, it's wide angle lens, so it picked up that light. And it's kind of filmed about like this angle. So it picks up that light and that light. And it might be, the fixed light, whatever it is, it's on this house right here. Then the movement that looks like a moving flashlight is actually up on this street up here. It's a garbage truck that was driving, and then when it came back, you know how it came back to the house? Remember that? Wait, why did that light go back to the house? That's weird. Why did it do that? That's because it was a garbage truck that turned around right here because there's nowhere to go. You pick up the garbage, then you have to probably do a 3-point turn and get the hell out of here, and went back this way again. So if you look at the angle here, it makes total sense. You can see it. So from that angle, look how there's a light up there, and then you'd be way down at the ground level. You'd be down here like this. And so now you can see it. See that light up there? There's the two lights. That would be the one that was moving, and then, like, you know, the angle of the wide angle lens makes this light sort of closer in there. But anyways, that's the truth. There is no flashlights. There is no anything other than a garbage truck moving on this street up here. The two lights you see are right there, and the fixed light is right there. So these are both fixed lights. This one and this one. This garbage truck moves in and out of the field of view because it had to go up here and come back, and then there's trees that make it blink on and off. Does that make sense, everybody? For the new people that just showed up, do you understand now? There are no flashlights. There are no people walking around there, and that's why law enforcement said there's no evidentiary value, because they know exactly what this is. They just aren't going to say what it was, because who knows if, you know, maybe the garbage truck at some point, you know, and it's at 3:11 in the morning. 3:11 in the morning. Hey, the Broken Scout, how's it going? Very early on, and thanks for getting those memberships earlier. I heard about a sex offender that had moved near them not too long ago. Yeah, I mean, maybe he was out on the prowl that night, who knows. Do you guys want to do a offender search in the area? And listen, I know that for the Proudfoot haters in here, and I'm not a Seth hater either. I just think that here's what I am. I want to know where Sebastian Rogers is. I don't think that any of the parents have anything to do with physically having him move and leave the residence. I just think it's incredible that so many of you have thrown all your baskets in the deity named Seth, that he is one of the greatest human beings. He's right up there with Mahatma Gandhi and Mother Teresa. If you could just squeeze it in there, he should be on the Mount Rushmore of human beings, okay? He is that awesome. But the Proudfoots are just, they're horrible. So why don't you just treat them all the same? They're looking for their kid. There's been nothing put out there by the Proudfoots that should have made anybody suspicious of them at all, except the only thing that you can come up with is the mother's the last person to see him. Okay? You tried your best. It didn't work. All right? Okay. You guys were wrong. And it's weird, too, because I've had 2 conversations with them, and the conversations are just so interesting because I'm hearing things that, okay, wow, okay, let me plot that in. The reality behind the scenes, not the garbage that when he was on the shows, people would ask him. Right? See, I like to get the factual, technical, small pieces of information. Like, there isn't one show that would have asked, hey, where are those lights? Can you show me on the map here? Let's get that all worked out. I spent 30 minutes with him trying to get it, and he explained to me where each light was, where the moving vehicle was, that was the garbage truck. That's why there was a light that was moving. And the other movement was because the irresponsible reporter who put it out there filmed, either he filmed it or somebody else did, and his camera was moving around while it was filming the surveillance footage. Okay? He didn't explain that to anybody. All right, anyways, let's see. And everything I just said doesn't mean a damn thing to the people who hate the Proudfoots, okay? It doesn't matter. What I just said, it doesn't matter because they have tunnel vision and they can't change their mind. I bet there isn't a soul out there. You know what, Gray, after listening to you, I changed my mind. Okay? And that's sad because you're going to look like a fool later. Okay? Now, if it turns out that there is a connection somehow, I'll feel like the fool and I'll be like, wow, man, I got suckered. But I just don't feel it at all, man. And by the way, Chris Proudfoot passed his lie detector test. Does that mean anything to you guys out there that we're just all that he took with the police, not Nancy Grace's show? Okay, I think that means a little bit more, doesn't it? He passed his lie detector test. He was asked 15 questions. I guess the other people were asked 5, and he passed every one of them. So there you go, everybody. Okay. See, there goes Cindy again. There goes Cindy again. No, Cindy, the police didn't come out, but after he passed the test, they asked him, we're going to go talk to Seth and tell him that you passed the test and have him quit bugging and saying all the shit that they're saying. Yeah, Cindy, you're always so skeptical. That's the stupid part about it, and you're never right. One of these days, it'll be so cool when you say one of those comments and you turn out to be correct. Okay, Cindy. Well, Cindy, I know that you think the Proudfoots are involved. You've said it over and over again. So go watch those videos, okay? I don't want to keep doing this with you over here. It sucks, okay? All right, so where is the... Yeah, and you don't think that... He told me that I could say it. So you don't think that he would be aware that I'm going to say it out loud and law enforcement may go, wait a minute, he didn't pass the test. Oh, my God. Ooh. That would be a huge problem for him, right? He even explained it all, that there's only 7 people that know. He mentioned it in a small little group that he has, but he thinks it's going to get out there anyway, so he let me say it. Okay? Law enforcement doesn't generally ever say who passed anything. But yeah, go watch those guys. They'll sell you a whole different story. Hey, Gray's telling this. Oh my God, he's a sucker. He believed what the guy said. Oh. Man, what's going on with the lols tonight, you guys? This is like ridiculous. With 768 people watching, it's just ridiculous. Good night, 8675309. I don't know, because they told him not to. They didn't need to take the test, Carissa. They knew where he was, so he didn't need to take the test. But he wanted to take one just to take one. He asked if he should take the test from. He asked law enforcement, "Should I take the test on Nancy Grace?" And they go, "No way, do not do that." And he said, well, can I take one with you guys? And they said, yeah, we'll set one up. He finally took that one and he passed it. Doesn't that matter to you guys? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Cindy. Cindy, go do something else, okay? I'm not interested. Listening in from the Jersey Turnpike. Wow, you look like the guy from New Zealand. Jared? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Thank you, Mom 457 Rose and Pixie Blue for the lull. I mean, my God, we're going to have to do a lot more than that to get that lull fixed. I mean, that is... Whew. Say no to lulls, Mama 457 Rose. Say no to lulls. All right, I'm going to look up how to... okay, Hendersonville. All right, here we go. You know, and by the way, I do put myself out there with my opinions, right? But I don't just say them, you know. Like the Delphi case, I really believe Richard Allen's the killer. However, I have to admit in some of these later things, it has a little something, not that he's not the killer, but the case becomes a little crazier with if some of these other things are true, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, that's what I think, Lenny. I mean, and thank you, Kim Berger. Great. Did you hear about Kohberger? Yeah, we went through that. That's why it's in the title of the video. You know, the thumbnail. Right, but Bryan Kohberger, so was Richard Allen, Cindy. Richard Allen's the killer too. Yeah. Right. And the Proudfoots have nothing to do with this, Cindy. Because there's really nothing. See, here's the thing, everybody. You guys point at all these little things, and they're meaningless, drivel. There is nothing that in any of the interviews or anything at all that point to them having anything to do with his disappearance. The only thing is that Katie Proudfoot's the last person to have seen Sebastian, right? So that's it, really. That's really what it comes down to. There's nothing else. All these other people were just part of the witch hunt. These people brought in the ex-wife and, you know, all the Seth stories and all this kind of stuff. I can say that. Just like you can say you think they are involved, right, Mishbu? You've said that they are involved. I've seen you many times say that. So I can say that they're not involved, right? Exactly. That's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, that's not a... I think that's a pretty reasonable idea there, Kit Kat. And perhaps he was on the phone when Seth allowed him to use the phone all the time to get online and communicate. Maybe he communicated with a predator. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what we got here. Wow. I'm just looking at the map, trying to... Is that it right there? Yeah. Wow, there's a whole bunch of them in here. But he lives up here, so let me move it. Not really a lot right there. Let me try a different name. I don't think they actually... I mean, it's Hendersonville, but maybe Shackle Island might be a better... Sex offenders in Shackle Island, Tennessee. Hey, thanks so much. Love the sun. Love the no-nonsense content. I'll go back over the Kohberger thing again if you want in a minute. I'm just trying to find... Huh. Well, there's a whole bunch that are down in this area, but there wasn't any right in that neighborhood. Probably because it's a nice neighborhood with houses and you know, like upscale homes. I don't know how they would get one of those. Here, I'll show you the last one that I did. So here's the map right there of Hendersonville. Look at all those. But they actually live kind of up in here. Here's one right here, though. Yeah, see, that's right in here. See inside of that? No, actually, that's right in here. Hold on. That's pretty close, that one. Actually, not really. I'm just going to move this off the side so I can zoom in on it. It's kind of like right down here. It's right here. So that's the closest one right there. Yeah, it's like 2 miles or so. I mean, I don't know. It's right here. A couple miles from here. All right, I'm going to turn the phones back on now. Or do you want me to really quickly read the... I'll do the Kohberger thing again, too. Okay, here we go. Let's get the music playing again, though. I think that's important for this part. How about this one? Clean Souls. I don't know. I don't like that one as much. What was that other one? Cool Vibes. There we go. Oh, yeah. Mr. Kohberger moved to Pullman, Washington in June of 2022. As an avid runner and hiker, he explored many areas of the Palouse. Of note, he explored Wawawe Park in July of 2022. And this became a favorite location for good old Bryan Kohberger. After the school year began, Mr. Kohberger was busy with classes and work at Washington State University, and his running and hiking decreased. But that didn't stop Bryan Kohberger to sneak in a little bit of hiking from time to time. Instead, his nighttime drives increased as his daytime hikes decreased. This is supported by data from Mr. Rogers? From Mr. Kohberger's phone, showing him in the countryside late at night or in the evening mornings on several occasions. The phone data includes numerous photographs taken on several different late evenings and early mornings, including in November, depicting the night sky. Mr. Kohberger was out driving in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022, as he often did, to hike and run or see the moon and the stars as he dreamt longingly for a beautiful woman. Oh, wait, it doesn't say that. He drove throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow, Idaho, including Wawawe Park. You mean where he threw the knife into the river? Thank you for letting us know. We'll search that area stat. That's up here, right there. The Wawawe River Park. That park he's talking about is right there, right next to that river. Can you believe it? He gave us the information. We've been looking. A lot of people said that he threw stuff in that river there. Mr. Kohberger was out driving in the early morning hours of November 13th, as he often did, to hike and run or see the moon and stars. He drove throughout the area south of Pullman, Washington, west of Moscow, Idaho, including Wawawe Park. Mr. Kohberger intends to offer testimony of Ray, CSLI expert, cell phone tower, and other radio frequency curricula vitae as attached, to show that Bryan Kohberger's mobile devices was south of Pullman, Washington, and west of Moscow, Idaho on November 13, 2022. Right, well, that's because he had his phone off during the murders, and then at 8 in the morning, or 9 in the morning when he drove back over there again, he probably turned it off just before entering Moscow, Idaho, so he's never went east of it. I mean, this is so stupid, it's almost mind-boggling. Remember, his phone wasn't even on that morning, so of course it wouldn't do that. Additional information, and how are they going to explain that Kohberger's phone, when it went, so on this green line right here, it went all the way down here, then it cut across, and it pinged all the way. Okay, of course now it's west of that line. Okay, so he would often drive down here, and then occasionally just sneak right over here to Wawawe park. So obviously that's a ping that they have listed somewhere. That's a ping that is in documents that they're worried about. So they're trying to explain how he goes there to look at the moon and stars. The moon and stars. What a freaking joke. You got to be kidding me. Additional information as to Mr. Kohberger's whereabouts as the early morning hours progress included additional analysis by Mr. Ray will be provided once the state provides discovery requests and now subject to an upcoming motion to compel. If not disclosed, Mr. Ray's testimony will also reveal that critical exculpatory evidence further corroborating Mr. Kohberger's alibi was either not preserved or has been withheld. Well, if it wasn't preserved, how do you see it? Well, we just know it exists. Okay. Anyways, there you go. That's the Bryan Kohberger update. All right, so now I'm going to turn back on Skype for the phone calls. People wanted to, there was already somebody that was just calling in, but I was just clicking the volume button at that moment. So there you go again. We're talking about Sebastian Rogers. Any comments that you might have, or even anything really, if you want to call it, talking about Kohberger. Or thanks, even Steven. He's going to use a map quest of his route as Exhibit 1. There you go. See. Hello, this is Gray Hughes on Gray Hughes Investigates. Anyways, who's this?
Hi, Gray. Hi, Gray.
Well, who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear.
This is Tanya O. from Ohio.
Nice. What's going on, Tanya O. in Ohio? Is that what the
well,
O stands for?
I tried to call you earlier when you was talking about Sebastian, and my theory is that he more than likely was online at his dad's, and a predator probably got to him and told him, I'll be your friend and all this other stuff, and trying to groom him and talked him into meeting him over there on the other street by the construction site, because that's where the dog picked his scent up at. And I think maybe the guy picked him up there, and he's either holding him or threw him in a body of water around there somewhere, or you know. But I don't think it's the parents. I think it was a predator.
Yeah,
I really do.
I mean, maybe I wonder. It almost to me, I don't know. Sometimes I think it was an opportunistic predator that was driving around. That happens sometimes. I mean, the case is rare. I mean, like, this is sort of like a weird situation case. So, I mean, there's cases like that where just some random predator is out and about and went, whoa, and maybe they might have even been looking for somebody, but they just opportunistically grabbed him while he's walking around. Probably say, hey, I can help you find your way, and then boom, took off. Because they do exist like that. They prowl around, but sometimes they're just out and about, and it's just luck.
Yeah, he happened, probably walk away from the house mad or something, and that guy picked him up and took him out of that area. Yeah. Hopefully he's alive and he has him somewhere, but it's not looking that way.
Yeah, I mean, Seth, like I said earlier, he let Sebastian just use the internet like any kid. There was no protections against it. He probably said, go ahead, get on there. So maybe during those times, he got onto some different places, played a game, online, and that's where these predators jump in. So who knows? Yeah. That makes more sense than all the other stuff, I believe. At first I did blame them and them, but I didn't know for sure. But this, as the time went on, it just seems like it makes more sense. You put with the dog scent where at the pond or at the construction site. So I figured he picked him up there and took him away from there. That's where I think that he picked him up at, because that's where the dog was leaded to. So I'm nervous. I'm sorry. Well, you don't have to be nervous. You sound great. Don't worry about it. It's just you and me. We're like two buddies talking on a telephone call. That's all it is. That's what I really do think that. And I hope that he's still alive.
But I'm not, because remember back in the day there was this guy that kidnapped this boy and had him for 7 years, and then let him go one day, and he went back to his parents. You know, all kinds of scenarios. I'm just hoping that he's alive and they find him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people looking for him.
Yeah.
I'm just worried he's in a body of water. You know, I just keep thinking about that in my head. I don't know why. I'm not a psychic or nothing, but that's what I keep just, and all the bodies of water around there.
Well, there's a lot of bodies of water. I mean, I've even circled them on my screen. You can see them. There's even more than I have. There's tons of them. They're all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's one right there that I didn't have.
Yeah. That's my theory, Gray.
Well, there you
really
go.
Is.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing it. Don't be nervous to call in.
All right. It was nice talking to you, you bastard.
You called me a bastard? You're so mean.
Gray.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, it's nice talking to you, too.
Good night, buddy.
All right. Have a good one. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Right. That was funny. You bastard. What did that one clown say up above? Let's see. Once BK... Look at... Here's the thing is... BK might be found not guilty, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it. It might just mean that a bunch of suckers like yourself believed a bunch of crap and found him not guilty. So let me ask you something. Wouldn't you love to have him stay over at your house for an evening? Kohberger, you know, just hanging out. You know, maybe have a knife throwing contest. You ever thought of doing that? I didn't think so. Yeah, didn't think so. Well, the phone lines are open. I'll tell you what. Once he's found if he's found not guilty, listen to this. They should put him on the dating game. Oh yes, you too could date this wonderful man in criminology. He's fantastic. He's good with knives. He's a great chef. He is absolutely fantastic. And then when you pick his name and he comes around the corner, you'll go, oh, it's Bryan Kohberger. I always thought you were sexy when you were... Yeah, look at all these wackos out there. Whew, wow. Hey, thanks, Janelle Glover. Ironic how the trolls would be having a field day if the Proudfoots who let him do as he please on... Oh, yeah, imagine that, Janelle. Yeah, imagine that. Isn't that amazing? The Proudfoots actually had parental control and didn't allow Sebastian to use his phone and be online communicating with people. Wow, what monsters. And just like Janelle just said, imagine if they let him be online and they'd be blaming them for not being good enough parents. Why would you let an autistic kid be online communicating with... You know what? They can't win, the Proudfoots. So I've had pleasant conversations with Chris Proudfoot. He seems nothing but helpful when I'm communicating with him. Nothing but trying to figure out what's going on. He knows all of the stuff that they're doing, everything. He communicates with the police. They're working together to try to find Sebastian. That's it. You know, and all I can say, again, if it turns out that somehow he's connected somehow, I'd be shocked out of my mind. I really would be. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Doesn't mean a damn thing to you, but I can guarantee you, if you were in the same phone calls and you were listening to the same stuff, the same communications, you'd probably think exactly the same thing. Thank you, Donna Aldridge. There was a serial killer on the dating app. Yeah, 2 of them, I think. I think it was who were they on there? Wasn't Dahmer on there? I don't know if Dahmer was. It was the guy from Ramirez. He was one of them. I think there's been a few of them on there. Yeah, who was the guy? There was one. Thanks, Noreen Gardner. Thank you very much. Okay, hold on a second. Oh yeah, he was one of them. The dating game killer. No, but what was the other one? I know that you were saying him, but what was the one? There was a Netflix documentary on him. The guy that, yeah, it wasn't Richard Ramirez. What was he known as? The Night Stalker, right? I think he was on there. Yeah. I think. Is that right? Yeah. he was on there. He's right here. Look.
I may have trouble getting around, but I want to live in my home. I can do it with the help of a barber. Personal.
We're going to have a great time together.
Right there. Look at that.
It may be the creepiest episode ever on the dating game, because this bachelor looking for love back in 1978 is actually a serial killer.
I'm called the Banana.
Oh, now it's Rodney Alcala. That's not Ramirez. Where is, I thought he was on there too, though. I typed his name in. Look at Richard Ramirez dating game, and he pointed to that guy. Maybe I thought that was him. It says right here, Night Stalker Richard Ramirez on the dating game. So I don't think he was never on there. It must have been that other guy. I'm not sure why people. What's that thing where everybody thinks one thing but it wasn't real? I feel like I'm having that now. The something of Mandela effect. I'm having the Mandela effect. I thought for sure that was Richard Ramirez. Even when you type it in, they think that, and they give you the other guy. How weird is that, man? Man, that's crazy. Absolutely wild. Yeah, I know. Mandela effect, 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 Mandela effect.
30 now 5. I'm 35.
You know, every once in a while when you're typing something in, look above you, and if 97 other people have already typed it in, yeah, you probably don't need to. Here comes Zozo. Mandela effect. Hey, thanks, Robin. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. There we go. See what I told you? There she is. Yeah, boom. And I probably said that before she even typed it in, knowing that she was going to do that. Didn't I call that, everybody? Come on, you guys. I know this chat. I know it. I know it. All right, now everybody hit that like button right now. We have 700 people watching. We need you to hit the freaking like button right now. Hit that like button 5, 10, 15, 20. Hit that like button 40. Or hit the like button 50, 60, 75, 80. Use your nose, use your toes. Use whatever you have, but don't use.
You want to put 30, sir. 25 of them, you're out.
Use what blows, use your nose, use. Oh, man. You know, you guys, it's really simple to hit the like button when you come into a chat room, right? You literally just take your finger out, or your thumb, whatever the hell it is, or your mouse, and just click the little thumb that sticks up. It doesn't hurt you at all.
But Ray, maybe they don't like you. Maybe they're just here to watch you say that the Proudfoots aren't guilty. And they want to see you say it. Then they're going to go to their other friends, and they're going to...
Hey, would you just be quiet, Mary Lou? Jesus. My God. Yeah. Yeah, so what was that called again? Oh, yeah, the Mandela effect. Let's see. Yeah. And the thing is, I would say, like, I've only communicated with Chris Proudfoot. But, to be honest with you, that last interview that the mother did, man, that just seemed like it was just, people were like, did she have a script? Did she have it? It's like, just listen to her, man. Just listen to her. I think she's been absolutely, like I said the other day, I thought my wife was missing in the Philippines. Just like 4 days ago or 6 days ago, and I was like, oh my god, you know, and I started, you know, the last Life 360, put a pin down, then I got a hold of the bank, when was the last time to use your card, started putting pins where those were. I was just freaking out, and I was just thinking how I was feeling during that time, how if that just continued on and on for days, at first it's not really bad because you're thinking, okay, I'm just not, if it went on for another day, 2 days, 3 days, there's no answer, you're getting a hold of people, they can't find her. Oh my god, the level that would build up to would be horrendous. And I think that's kind of what she's been going through. Hey, thanks, Janelle Glover. Seems like a good break in the show to start a wave. Just saying, who's with me? Come on, there you go, everybody. Look at that. Yeah. You've been a member longer than that, the Broken Scout. Come on. And then Ozzy, Trisha, Robin. Man, I just can't imagine how it would get worse. I was so thankful when she finally like called and said, "Oh, my phone died. They didn't have the charger because you needed a 220 converter thing or whatever, and then they had no cell phone coverage up there, and then I don't know. It was just one of the relatives said, "Oh, we should have." Let's see, where are we at here? I'll tell you what. If we get to the goal, I'll donate 5 memberships. Okay. We on the screen, this green, let's see, what are we at? We are at almost there, right? Probably, no, 213.80. We only got 30 to go. 36 to go, 36.20. Oh, well, that's 5 of them right there by the Broken Scout. We'll count that. So that put us at, we need about 10 more. That'd be awesome. But look at that. Summer Thunder got a membership. Cream Puff got one. Carolyn White. Yodes Mania and Janice Smith. Welcome, everybody. All right, let me do a poll. So you're you know, your answers aren't shown. Nobody knows who did this. All right, so. Okay, so I'm just doing a poll here. I just want to see where we're at on here. So your answers are hidden, so you can, I'm not giving you a, you know, maybe or anything. You have to choose based on the information you have. Do you really think that they're involved? All right. I bet you the percentage on this channel is a lot different than others. Well, I didn't ask you to pick one based on the evidence, Zozo. I do know. I do know. I don't know literally, but yeah, just telling you, communications. I mean, if I had recorded like today's call and was able to play it, I'd say the number would be 95% up there, because you'd realize, oh wow, this guy's, they're just trying to figure it all out too. Wouldn't it make sense to say that there were flashlights running around? Wouldn't you want that to be true? You know, because then it would take the heat off of them. You know, but it's not. It's not real. Right. So there's the poll up there is for that. So okay, let me. I'm going to stop the poll now. We're at 105 votes. It was 75 no. Okay. Let me do like this. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. All right, so we got another, we got Dreaming of Blue Skies. Wow, I can do it now. Membership gifting. Look at that. From right here. I wasn't able to do that before. So I'm gifting 5 now. Oh, I got a software update. Jesus. Okay, I'm going to do a new poll now. So anyways, welcome to all the new freaks out there. Robin V, Jarvis, Zoe413, I thought you already were a member. Tessa Z, Rebecca Con. I was a member, Gray, but I left when you started saying the Proudfoots didn't. Oh, boy. Here we go. Is there any actual evidence that the Proudfoots are involved? There we go. And the answer is no. Okay. Okay, so this number here will show the bias because there is no evidence at all. If there's any yeses in there, then we have a bunch of biased people answering those questions. Okay, because there is no evidence at all, and law enforcement has already told us that there is no evidence of foul play. Okay, so right now you have 11% of people who are biased, so that means we can actually remove those people from the last poll question, and the number would be a lot higher. Right, there is no actual evidence, right? So, and yet you still have people saying yes, and that means they're lying to themselves because there is none, right? So, you guys get what I'm saying? Like this poll right here is useful, right? Because what it's showing is that there are people out there that are so biased that they can't even admit that there is no evidence. You get it? Right. Against them being involved. Right, exactly. Yeah, the stepfather wasn't even around. Right, the stepfather wasn't here. There's evidence against them being involved. The evidence is the stepfather wasn't even around, and law enforcement has said that the family's been absolutely cooperative and have not been able to find any information leading to foul play on the part of the Proudfoots. You get it? You get it, the Broken Scout? So look at what I just proved right there. That in this community right here, right now, as we're watching, there are, out of the people who voted, out of the 114 votes, that means there's at least 12 or 13 people out there that would vote for him being them being guilty at a trial because they see evidence and there is none. There is zero, right? We already know that. So that means 12% of the people are wacko. All right, so we're going to end that poll there. Now let's do this one. I'm going to do another poll here. All right. For those who think the Proudfoots are guilty, are you using or okay, here's another one. For those who think the Proudfoots are guilty, are you using gut feelings or factual information? Gut feelings. Jesus. Man, what a joke. Jesus. God. Good Lord. What does that mean? Are you using like drugs? Is that what you mean, Dana? And thanks for the another 5 memberships there, the Broken Scout. Empty brain as an option. Yeah. Isn't that amazing, you guys? Gut feeling. What a joke. Jesus. God. There's no evidence at all, but your gut tells you, just like the Shane in the Heidi Broussard case. Good job, everybody. Good job. No, you can't answer them, Cindy, because there is, I don't care if you have questions. There's no evidence or information that points to the Proudfoots being involved. Okay? So that's the answer. Not that you have questions. You have questions. Your questions are always sort of like you know, a little off too. So it's wild. Absolutely wild. What questions do you have? Your questions are strange. They're always about like, hey, did he stay in the trailer? Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Here's the facts from the police. The Proudfoots have been nothing but helpful since the beginning. They've answered they've done everything that we've asked them to do, and we have found no evidence of foul play on their part. There's the answer, okay? That's law enforcement telling you that. Right. Did I spell it wrong? No, I spelled it factual. Anyways. Sure would be nice to see that actually get to the red to the end there, even though it's, you know. Well, who's calling in? Come on, some more Sebastian Rogers case people, all right? Give me a reason. Call in. Somebody out there who thinks that they're guilty, call in with the reason. Like, give me something that really makes sense. You know, we had people try to do that on other times, but give me something. Look at that. Gut feeling. 48 votes. So these are the people who out of the people who think that they're guilty. So that means out of the 12% of the people, that 69% of those 12% think that he's guilty based on a gut feeling. God, Jesus. My Lord. What a joke. God, Gray, I left your channel when you said my gut feeling was a joke, you bastard. I just think it's a joke to say somebody's guilty because you have a gut feeling about something. There's nothing in this. Okay? My gut feeling after talking to him is that he has nothing to do with it. You know, on a one-on-one basis, just a man-to-man conversation. Right? He's not on some show being asked a bunch of shitty questions by random schmoes. You know, it's a little different, right? Let's see, hold on a second. I got where'd this guy? Is this today? Okay, he does. Okay, Brian's. Oh, okay. So let me read. This is about Kohberger now. Does that guy that always helps me out with sort of inside, sort of, I don't even sure what to call it, information using internet and web sleuthing. And he said Brian's alibi defense says nothing of network reporting. They had opportunity to reference intermittent coverage roaming around the countryside, a responsible point. BK's phone being on the whole time would bolster his alibi. Yeah, I mean, don't you think it's weird that he turned his phone off if he's just driving around looking at... He didn't want to be called, Gray. At 4 in the morning? Well, that's a good point, but... Anyway, BK's phone being on the whole time would bolster his alibi to a considerable degree. Can we fairly infer from his absence the prosecution is able to show Kohberger switched his phone to silent or off for a significant period of time? If my client's phone was on for the entire time, I would stress that fact at every turn. Otherwise, all so vague. He likes to go running, but not on the night in question. He was somewhere in the countryside. They have pictures of the stars, but not on the night in question, right? Ann Taylor expect witnesses. Cy Ray was found to have inflated his credentials, and his tracking software was found to be unreliable and prone to error. The judge did not take aim at all cell phone mapping data, but rather his ruling was limited to tracks mapping software from Chandler, Arizona. I guess he he had already had something ruled against him in the past. That's pretty cool. So yes, that's really interesting, right? Like why, his phone was turned off. Yeah, he was saving his phone battery. Right. Look how cloudy it was on the Banfield video. He's full of crap. Right. Well, he was just scouting for the next time that he looked at the stars and the moon, okay? He was just scouting for that. Huh? He works kind of late in the evening, Cindy. I talked to him. He actually works a kind of a different shift. Just to fit. They've looked at, listen everybody, Cindy. They got their phones. They looked at everything. They found nothing. The Broken Scout said scouting too funny. What do you mean? Yeah, maybe they were on and off talking for 3 hours. I asked him about that one time, and he said, what we were talking about and what we're doing is nobody's business. And I absolutely agree. Like, why do we have to? It's so ridiculous, you guys. Yeah. His phone was turned off because he was trying to cover his tracks, but he failed. Yeah, I mean, Bryan Kohberger literally turned his phone off. For those out there, we need to we have to go back over the Idaho case pretty soon, don't you think? Yep, every once in a while you got to get that refresher in there. It's right here. So he's over here in Pullman, Washington, and at, I think it was 2:47, his phone was turned off. And I think it was right in this area right there. 2:44, it pinged down, sort of down in the area, and then 2:47 turns off. And then his vehicle, however, is seen on camera driving like this. And I think he, went down, did one of these windy routes, kind of like what he did on Indian Hills Drive. Comes back out here. So I don't know which way he went, how he got to Moscow, but about, I don't know, 40 minutes later or so, 3:26, his vehicle's driving right here on Indian Hills Drive. We've driven this. I have this all on video, doing all this. Timed it out. It's exactly the right timing, everything. Then he drives by here at 3:28 with his front license plate missing, just like his. Drives this way. It's a white Elantra. Comes in. Now, the first time, I think I might have to change it later because I think he does take a right and he does the loop backwards. So he comes around like this. So I'll have to go analyze that, listen to it myself, and come up with, get it precise. But he definitely comes back here 4 different times, looping around. There's a surveillance camera. Then on the 4th loop, it stops here from 4:08 to 4:20 for 12 minutes. You got that on the screen again. Yeah, 4:08 to 4:20 right here. And inside that 12-minute time that the white Elantra was parked right here, Ethan Chapin, Xander Canado, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were all murdered inside this residence. And then even in a smaller window inside there, he left the knife sheath of that he used in the killings on the bed that had his DNA on it inside of that 12-minute window. Then after the 12-minute windows at 4:20, he took off, heads out, comes out just like this, boom, drives to right in this area and then heads on south. And he goes all the way down, and then right around in this area he turns his phone back on again because he needs to navigate this crazy route that I drove all the way through, out and around. And I timed this route. It's exactly the same. You drive up this direction. His phone pinged in this area later in the day. And then he came up here and he took a right on this crazy little road here, left, and then he drove right by a camera right here at 1300 Johnson Avenue at 525, and heads right up into, and he lives right up here. So his last time his vehicle was seen was 527 right here. And then at 9 in the morning, he drove this route, probably turned his phone off now that they gave us this information, right here. So his phone never pinged east of that tower at Floyd's, so here's Floyd's cannabis shop that obviously has a video of a white Elantra that we didn't know about until today. So he probably turned it off somewhere over here even. And then drove in, checked, looked around, did whatever he's doing. Then when he left, turned his phone back on again over here and heads back into town. That's my opinion. And Bryan Kohberger, his DNA was found on the knife sheath, and they tracked him down at his parents' house, and turns out he'd been throwing his own garbage. So when they arrested him, he was sitting in the living room sorting his own garbage and putting them into plastic bags and throwing them into garbage cans so that his DNA wouldn't be in the trash can. But thus his brain must not work, because obviously his father and sister would be in there, and that would show that the relative of the killer who left the DNA on the knife sheath lived in that house. And guess what? Bryan Kohberger was a student at Pullman, Washington, who drove a white Elantra. I mean, wow. That guy's the most unlucky guy in the world. But I tell you what, if you want him to stay overnight at your house, because he's a great guy, you go ahead and let him do so. And as a matter of fact, as a gift when he shows up, hand him a samurai sword. Whew, wow. But Gray, that might entice him to do something. Right. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna take off, you guys. I gotta go give Blue his medicine here in a minute. We're 2 hours and 47 minutes, pretty good. But I gotta go give him his medicine. But I appreciate everybody here. If you could subscribe to the channel, if you're not subscribed, that'd be great. I do try to deploy some humor every once in a while. Trying to meet the total. There you go, Ozzy Trisha. We hit it on the screen. And Mark Willis, too, right there at the buzzer. Oh, come on, Cindy. And by the way, Cindy J is like a sister I never had, right? We just, God, Cindy, God. She's always the devil's advocate, but with no real any logic behind it. Okay. All right. Anyways, I think Cindy J must be one of Zozo's favorite people in the world, because, it takes a little heat off sometimes. And, well, at least it spreads it out a little bit. Okay, it's sort of a... Anyways, thanks, Eugenie, Wise Child, Wendy Van Rokel, Timothy Cecil. Good to see you again. Lil Puppy Paws, Ella Blue, Carol Z, Cameron. The weather forecast for that night and during the time, this is Kohberger, of the murders was complete overcast. So he wasn't looking at any stars that night. But he was scouting for his next stargazing mission. Okay? Alley Cake, then Ivan Victor, a new member for the 98th time. And then Kit, and then Oddball, Laura Stone. Ivan Victor said, YouTube makes me manually renew my payment. Oh, weird. Well, there's the answer to that one. K-Me, Cat Keeps On. Then Jenny's Creative Studio gifted a membership. Thank you. And then the Broken Scout gifted 10 memberships. Then Little Irish Girl, and then Brooklyn, and then Annabella Roma, Alley Cake, Gene Salzman, who said, Come on, freaks. Anyone up to match me? And then little puppy paws praying for Sebastian to come home safe. Even Stevens said, OJ did it. And thanks for all the great callers tonight, too. That was cool. Seemed like they were all good. You know what I'm saying? All right, then Ozzy Trisha, Revengeance, who called in. Mad as a cut snake. Even Steven, one of the callers. Heather N. gifted a membership. Allie Cake. Wendy Van Rokel. Jessica Miller. Thanks, Gray. Really appreciate you. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Paulette Leonard. Wendy Van Rokel. Come on, folks. How can we... how about $1? Dollar holla, as Zozo would say. Mad as a cut snake. What type of experts in BK using... I think we went over that again. And then Georgina Stoliker, Plato jumping on Wendy's. Donna Aldridge, if his glasses were home, why did they think they found them? I don't know. Did anybody say that Sebastian's glasses were at home? I don't remember hearing any of that. Jessica Miller, Sarah Jane, is this the best way to donate? Yeah, sure. Well, thank you. Lanky Tor gifted 5 memberships. Then Lanky Tor gifted another 5 memberships. 12 minutes apart. And then Mary Antoinette been here for 21 months. Lanky Tor 51. Pixie Blue, Mama 457 Rose, Kim Berger, Love the Sun 100, Simply Me, Heather N, Even Steven, Janelle Glover, Donna Aldridge, Noreen Gardner, Robin, Janelle Glover, The Broken Scout, says 3 months, but he's been in there a lot longer than that. I'm not sure what happened there. Ozzy Trisha, Robin, Ozzy Trisha gifted a membership, then Zozo, The Broken Scout gifted 5, Mama 457 Rose, 21 months, Pirate Girl, Live Free or Die, Dreaming of Blue Skies and Sunny Beaches 3 times in a row for, yeah, I think I missed those, thank you. And then I gifted 5 memberships, then Esther here, I guess she calls herself, 8 months, then Mark Willis, Ozzy Trisha, and then Mark Willis at the end. So thank you guys, that was very cool, appreciate it. So I got rid of the video that I made earlier. I think I'm gonna make a video on this stuff right here tonight. I think I'll do one just on Sebastian Rogers, the path that was described, and also the where the surveillance was of the lights that everybody is still talking about over and over and over again. They're absolutely insignificant at this point. How do you know, Gray, you bastard? Wow, so we had 108 votes from people who think that he did it, and it was all their gut feeling. Ah, Jesus. That's embarrassing. You mean the flyby? Maybe we will do a flyby. All right. Okay, it'll have to be just one loop though, because I gotta. All right. So we'll do it right after this. So thanks everybody for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
There isn't. What do you mean sing it? There's
And
no
during this whole
flyby
time,
singing.
I have not seen one person that is a
Crime dissector, a thug projector, I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like a lone projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a bubble detector.
fool
Deflector,
interceptor.
and I'm neater than a spectre with a vector. On his vector, with a respect show. Just remember,
I have a temple fucking
Jake Show, I have no agenda, I'm a pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission that I never try to offender. Hey, Gray!
All right, everybody. Talk to you.
It's not 3D. It's not 3D, everybody.
Yeah, the 3D element's not working now. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Let me shut this down and open it back up again. I need to have the... It doesn't look right. God, I hate when that thing pops up every second to try to ask something. Alright, let's see. It wasn't doing the 3D... I got rid of all my icons. The you know, the 3D structures and everything, they weren't there. So let's see. I don't know why. I mean, I've got all the settings correct. Terrain, 3D buildings. Yeah. Let's see. Try to find it again. Ah! Now I'm supposed to give his medicine, you guys. Jesus Christ. Ah, what's all this crap here? Does that look right? Yeah, I think that looks like it's trying to build there. I can see it. Alright, that looks better. Okay, here we go.
Gosh, Grant, I didn't think we'd be able to do it. It's Kevin MacLeod! That's who the composer is! Kevin MacLeod!
All right, everybody. I gotta go. I gotta go. Blue is medicine. All right. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks for all your generosity and getting us to the goal. I really appreciate that. You know, it allows us to keep moving forward. Unfortunately, the video that I put out today didn't augment anything because it was watched by like 9 people. It was ridiculous. All right. So thank you all. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.
Good night, everybody. Jay, did you like my singing, though?
No, it's absolutely sucked. Remember that one time you went, la la, like that at the end?
Gosh, Gray, I tried really hard.
God, are you okay, Mary Lou?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good night, everybody.
Oh, she did it again. I believed it for a second there. I believed it. Ah, Jesus. All right, see you guys later.